Welcome back to Wake Up America. So millions are now turning to chatbots for spiritual guidance. People confessing to spiritual chatbots, their secrets, their confessions, their darkest impulses. This is a thing.
Count me as a no.
Yeah.
All right, but you know the saying, God works in mysterious ways, but does it actually work as an artificial intelligence on-call priest, imam, or rabbi?
I don't know.
Oh. For more on this, let's welcome in the CEO of the Alliance for Secure AI, Brendan Steinhauser, and the chair of the Department of Theology and Religious Studies at St. John's University, Father Patrick Flanagan. Father, I got to start with you. I mean, from your perspective, a chatbot God? I mean, there's a difference between memorizing and repeating Scripture and truly understanding its meaning and significance.
Good morning to you both, and good morning to you, sir. I think there's an excitement, though, about thinking about this chatbot when it comes about the experience of God. I think it should signal the fact that people are yearning for something more, yearning for experience the divine. So that's a very positive effect. As we speak more, we can speak about the negative effect, as many people have alluded to. But I think that the very positive effect is that there's a real yearning, a real reorientation, there's a re-evangelization that's happening in our society. And we're seeing it prevalent that people are trying to find God.
All right. I like looking at the positive side of this because there are so many questions with this. And Brendan,
Absolutely.
How do you see the responsibility of AI developers to respect religious or spiritual values when creating these chatbots that are claiming to engage with or maybe imitate God? How do you kind of toe that line?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think they've done that so far. I think it's very difficult to impart values on these chatbots. That idea is called alignment. The idea of, you're building something and you want it aligned with human values. You want it to behave in good ways. But we've seen chatbots have not been doing that. We've seen a lot of problems with them in terms of, causing delusion and mass hysteria with people and psychosis and that sort of thing. I'm really uncomfortable with the use of chatbots as it relates to this sort of thing. I think, if you're using it to kind of do some research or using it to sort of look at challenging passages in Scripture, sure. But I think using it in a way to replace your pastor or your priest is a really bad idea. And I just want to also mention, some in Silicon Valley that are building this AI technology, they believe that they're essentially building what they call a digital God. I think that is a profound mistake, and that's something beyond even that.
Yeah, that would be a scary world.
I mean, Father, so from the perspective of theologians, pastors, church authorities, I mean, you are governed by the laws of the church and things. And if someone says something to you in confession, AI doesn't have that any kind of limit like that I'm aware of. I mean, are there guidelines that you would put out there and recommend folks before they start to confess their darkest secrets to an AI God?
So I just want to qualify the fact that I did say, in fact, that there's a renewal of interest in God. But I do not think the answer is the chatbots, as my colleague spoke so eloquently to. I truly believe that the chatbots are increasingly problematic, that people rely on them too much. And as Pope Francis spoke about earlier this year, in one of his earliest documents, Antiqua et Nova, that was a doctrinal note published in early 25, it's both an exciting and a fearsome reality. And for people to rely on chatbots for relationships, there's something very disorienting, very discouraging about that. And that becomes problematic. My advice to anyone who is seeking God online is, as my colleague spoke so eloquently, is to use the AI for research, for information, for direction. But if we're looking for relationships, we need to find ourselves in sacred spaces. We need to see ourselves engaged with each other.
Yeah, I hope that we never live in a world where AI replaces human-to-human relationships. Brendan, how do you see the story of chatbot God affecting people's trust, not just in AI technologies, but in religious institutions as well?
Well, I hope that the reporting on that causes people to turn to God, that causes people to really renew their faith and to think about this and pray about this and talk to their religious leaders about this, because this is a real thing that's happening that these people in Silicon Valley are trying to create. And so I think it's going to raise all sorts of moral questions as the technology advances very rapidly. Lots of moral questions for us to think about, and we're going to have to make some decisions about how to make sure we put human beings first, that we have a pro-human AI policy and that we put in safeguards in place to protect people. There's a lot else we could talk about, including some of the harms that have happened to children who are using chatbots and what these companies are allowing those chatbots to say to them. And so there's some really big problems, and I think we need faith more than ever. We need God more than ever to guide us as we enter this really uncharted territory.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, lastly, real quickly, like 15 seconds, Father. I mean, I know many in the clergy, often talk about the power of the Lord speaking through them. It's going to be hard to convince me that that power speaks through AI.
Absolutely, because there's an over-reliance on algorithms, and who's controlling the AI? We recognize that AI is being manipulated by those who put the information in, and in the end, those are the people I'm going to speak on behalf of God in the name of God, and that becomes increasingly problematic.
Yeah, great point.
Absolutely. All right, Brendan, Father Patrick Flanagan, thanks for joining us this morning. Fascinating discussion.
Thanks, guys.
I won't be confessing to an AI chatbot.
No.
God, no. All right. A direct hit on the high seas. U.S. forces strike a second Venezuelan drug boat.